35mm is a versatile focal length for many photographers and filmmakers, and you might be one of them. Literally, I've seen some wedding videographers use a 35mm lens only for the whole day. Recently, Viltrox sent me their new 35mm lens f1.8 to review here on the channel, and indeed my review is unbiased. Actually, I like their 50mm lens f1.8 very much. Feel free to check out the review I did earlier. It's built well and has a decent image quality. Now, I've been using the 35mm f1.8 Viltrox lens for about 2 months, and today we'll compare it with Sony 35mm f1.8. We'll share with you my experience, the performance, and my feedback, so you make up your mind if any of these lenses works for you. Omahi, and let's get started. Although both lenses' build quality feels quite similar, I feel Viltrox is a step ahead. And also I prefer the larger lens hood in Viltrox. I think it will cut more flare. The 35mm Sony, on the other hand, is a bit smaller, lighter. It comes at 310 grams, 11 ounces, while Viltrox is 410 grams, 14.5 ounces. That's including both caps and lens hood. And we get a large focus ring in Viltrox, an aperture ring if you wish to control that manually. Now Sony has auto to manual focus switch button and a useless custom button. However, Viltrox has a USB-C port next to the lens mount if you wish to update the firmware in the future, and that's very cool. And when doing portrait photography, both lenses feature smooth autofocus and decent image quality so far. And recently I used Viltrox more than Sony because I wanted to check it out. Now we'll show you some images shot with both lenses, and I want you to guess which image is which lens, which one is Sony and which one is Viltrox. Is there a significant difference in real world? And can you pick the right one? Let's give it a shot. Alright, here we go. We got Sony in all label A images and Viltrox in label B. How far were you close to the right lens? Let me know in the comment section down below. I need to test the 35mm lenses in portrait photography, so I got in touch with Hani, a good friend of mine, and I said, hey, would you like to have some cool images? Although he likes the 85mm range the most, he's a photographer too. I convinced him to make it done with a 35mm lens. So I tried different shots at f1.8, full and medium shots. And here starting with a medium full shot at f1.8. The composition and the background looks nice. I did some color grading here. Check out my presets if you're interested. I believe the 35mm focal length works really well on medium full shot. However, when zooming in to 100%, I can see that Sony is sharper than Viltrox wide open at f1.8. Bear in mind that Viltrox is roughly half the price of Sony 35mm f1.8. Let's do a little trick here by increasing the sharpness level in Lightroom from the default 40 to 70. Well, these are very close now. Let's get another one at f1.8. Both images look great, and the preview images at full size look quite identical. As we discussed earlier, at f1.8 and when zooming in to 100%, Viltrox is a bit softer than Sony if you wonder. This is a medium shot Viltrox f2. Nice bokeh and subject separation. Let's zoom in here a bit, and the sharpness is decent. I believe it got better than it was at f1.8. Jumping to another full shot, side-by-side images at f2. The background separation is there, the bokeh looks fine. Let's zoom in a bit, and to my eyes I don't see a significant difference, Sony bokeh is slightly smoother. It doesn't mean it's better, it's a different taste. And at 100% zoom, I can tell Viltrox sharpness at f2 is better than f1.8, while Sony 35mm is still sharper. And as we tweaked the sharpness earlier, Viltrox gets closer to Sony when increasing the sharpness level to 70. And before continue watching this video, I would like to introduce my Lightroom preset packs. We have 3 different packs for different scenarios. And if you like the mood and the style I'm using here, for everyone watching this video, you can get any preset pack you want only for $6. Head off to omagomrawi.com/store, use the coupon code 35MM and get yours today. Enjoy! Guys, don't try to get very close to the model with a 35mm lens. I mean, medium and medium full shot work the best, because the close-ups at 35mm focal length doesn't look that great, because of the focal length distortion. Stick with medium, medium full shots, and full shots as well. And get yourself a better framing, a better composition, and a better pose if you like to get kind of close-up images, because they don't work all great in that situation. I brought the lens with me for a wedding, and I did some cool ones out there. I got this one here for the table decoration, this one shot at f2. And here is another shot for the bride, also at f2. But this time with an A7R4 camera, the 62 megapixel sensor. Overall, they look pretty much identical, except at 200% zoom, Sony is sharper at some point. But no one gonna notice that unless extremely zoomed in. And in terms of bokeh, here at f1.8, both lenses look nice. And for the pixel beepers out there, Viltrox bokeh is a little bit busier than Sony. It's just another taste. Autofocus speed is indeed a major factor to get a lens or get rid of it. So how is Viltrox 35mm autofocus performance compared to Sony 35mm f1.8? Here we have both lenses side by side. Viltrox is on the right and Sony is on the left. Test number 1, close and far subject autofocus. Well, I see Viltrox has a slightly faster autofocus speed, and Sony has a little bit of focus breathing. Not much, but definitely more than Viltrox. And the other test will be follow focus. I got fast and responsive autofocus settings in Sony a7 IV. I somehow see that both lenses share the same autofocus performance in such a situation. Good one, Viltrox, you did a good job compared to Sony. You even have a better autofocus performance in some situations. And when using any of the Viltrox and Sony in video, I got smooth autofocus performance, no complaints at all. And honestly, I never felt a difference whether in production or when watching the footage on the computer. They look very identical and the focus was right on the subject. And I believe we get also similar bokeh and autofocus feel in both lenses. And the sharpness difference we discussed earlier at f1.8 doesn't show here in the video at 4K. It was technically showing when zooming in to 200%. So let's say you can go with any of these lenses without a problem. In the sample images, we tested the lenses wide open at f1.8 and f2. And here in this part of the video, we'll push it further and check the sharpness at different apertures. At f1.8, and when zooming in to 200%, technically Sony 35mm is sharper in the center, also on the sides and corners. That's f1.8. But Sony has a remarkable chromatic aberration at f1.8. Viltrox is much cleaner. See here? And the image quality at f2 is very similar to f1.8. Now jumping to f2.2, Viltrox gets better image quality in the center, but Sony is still one step ahead, whether in the center, sides, and corners. At f2.8, Viltrox gets even better than f2.2 and f2.5. Let's say in general, Viltrox has a decent sharpness and image quality, however the Sony 35mm is technically one step ahead. Although I prefer having the best sharpness, Viltrox does a good job at roughly half the price of Sony 35mm f1.8, which is no doubt a good value for the money. and you probably will not notice the difference in real world until you have both images side by side and zoom in to 200%. I hope this video helped in making your decision. Show me a thumbs up and let me know which lens you're interested in. Thank you for watching guys, and bump that subscribe button for more camera key reviews. This was Oma, and see you in another one.